Global Times, 30th of May 2023, we morally and emotionally support the decolonization of India, Chinese propaganda. China's strategy is to weaken the number of allies that oppose its hegemonic rule and employ various propaganda techniques against the Indian subcontinent. On Sunday, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi officially opened the new Parliament building. A museum will be established inside the former Parliament, constructed nearly a century ago during the British colonial era. The Modi administration's Central Vista Redevelopment Project, which aims to rid the Indian capital of its colonial past, is thought to revolve around the new structure. According to Modi, who made this statement in his speech, the new parliament isn't just a building and will see the sunrise of a self-reliant India. This is blatant interference by a country like China, which is not friendly. The roughly $120 million structure, which contains national emblems like the lotus flower, banyan tree, and peacock, pays homage to India's traditional heritage and culture in its finer aspects. This is a crucial step in the Indian government's decolonization efforts and will be a powerful symbol. In recent years, the Modi administration has committed itself to project an image of a resurgent India that actively engages in decolonization and strongly emphasizes independent confidence. India has also made significant efforts to eradicate colonial symbols, such as renaming and modifying prominent structures, altering colonial-era budget procedures, and reducing the use of English in official contexts while promoting the use of Hindi. Once oppressed by Western colonialists, China is committed to attaining national modernization and may understand India's determination to protect national pride and pursue a more autonomous position. For nearly 200 years, Britain ruled over India, leaving behind both broad and profound colonial influences. It is conceivable how enormous the decolonization task is compared to what China underwent and was later destroyed by the Communist Party. The King George V statue, which was a significant New Delhi icon and stood in front of India Gate, was taken down by the Indian government in 1968. Then, on September 8, 2022, the day of Queen Elizabeth II's passing, the Modi administration changed the name of the Rajpath in front of India Gate to Kartavya Path. Although decolonization has been ongoing for 50 years, it is still a gradual process with a long road ahead. The most challenging element for India still lies ahead: eradicating colonialism's traces from the nation's culture and people. This is undoubtedly more difficult than changing names or getting rid of labels. It's still unclear how much decolonization will be possible. We wish India well in attaining its objectives for the least amount of money. We also offer a kindly reminder to guard against Western geopolitical manipulation that bears new kinds of neo-colonialism while destroying the vestiges of old colonialism. This fact has gained a lot of attention. Divide and rule strategies that were everything but noble were used at the time by the British to impose over 200 years of colonial authority over India, which had a sizable region and population, much like what China is currently attempting to do. Now, the West, especially the US, tries to practice divide and rule on a bigger scale more covertly. To manipulate China and India's minds, they invent and highlight the idea of dragon-elephant rivalry and indulge in evil psychological manipulation. The West has lost the ability to obstruct China and India's rise by overt tactics. Therefore they have turned to using their differences to their advantage. This could be a manifestation of a persistent colonialist mentality. China has done a terrific job lately of putting a gulf between herself and India through her actions. The West has duped India numerous times to replace China. It takes sides in the dispute over the border between China and India, even encouraging India to confront China and yell phrases like "standing with India." China declares, the West appears to be pressuring India in every way, but this cannot mask its arrogance and oppression of India. It should be noted that this is precisely the pitfall for India's quest to become a powerful and independent nation. The growth of India's national comprehensive strength, strategic independence, and clarity will be more critical for India to shed its colonial past than any gifts or accolades from the West. India should show off its distinct logic, philosophy, and imagination during decolonization rather than fall into the geopolitical trap of Western power politics. Like China, India has a civilization distinct from Western culture that strives for national renewal, something the West cannot fully comprehend. India and China both support one Earth, one family, which promotes the creation of a human society with a shared future. Both sides have an Eastern perspective on how to perceive local and global issues, and it is anticipated that they won't return to the old road of the Western zero-sum game. Asia and the entire planet are large enough to support China and India's concurrent rise. China sincerely and, in Chinese terms, desires India's development. Few people in Chinese society think that China's economic and social development would threaten India. Most people disagree that the two nations can prosper together. China believes that while dealing with hegemonic China and the West, India will exhibit more of the same clarity and assurance. Clarity and confidence are essential for advancing multipolarity and democratization in international relations. They are clear indicators that India has departed from colonialism.